might be a bit too excited. I love this guy. I love him. I love this guy. I love everything he's in. I love the cut of his jib. I love his demeanour. And also, he's great on talk shows. Well, he should be, because he's been brilliant on every single talk show I've ever seen him on. I've had talk show marathons just watching this next guest on various talk shows. He's brilliant. He's a genius. I'll probably mess this up, but I don't care, because it means at least I get to meet him. Tilly, over to you.
From almost famous to very famous, from the morning show to our breakfast show, our next guest is a real Hollywood legend. He's bringing the Wild West to the West End in his play High Noon. So look who we've brewed up. It's the very clued up Billy Crudup!
The introduction I give myself every day.
Oh my God! So Billy,
can you guys come back with me now?
Full disclosure, I love you.
Ah, bless
I'm sorry
you.
about this, but I just think you're amazing.
Come on,
seriously,
thank you.
I think you're amazing. You're as good as it gets, mate.
Oh man, I appreciate that.
How much does he look like Jim Carrey, by the way? I had you down for Jim Carrey. Can you do a Jim Carrey?
I don't, but it does remind me when I was in graduate school and I was trying really hard to be a serious actor. We were doing it was a Shakespeare play. I don't know, but it was one of the comedies, and I took a really broad choice with the character, thinking it was a bold, dynamic thing to do with something, that ancient Shakespeare, and it turns out my family thought I was doing a Jim Carrey impression.
See?
So
what an answer to the first question. We guys just like sit back and you could do this for a living.
I took offense to it at the time, but having observed Jim Carrey's work over the years, now I take great pride.
Do you know
in
him?
it. I don't know him at all. I did meet him once, and that was pretty cool.
But he's on one of my favourite ever comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. Have you seen that one?
I haven't.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
Wait, is that Jerry Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
And so Seinfeld turns up, he picks a car for Jim, and he turns up and he goes and picks him up, and Jim won't let him in. And so Jerry's got to climb over the wall, or it's like, because he's a big artist, isn't he? So he's in his art studio.
I did. Oh yes, I've seen some of his
all
art.
the
I saw some of his political art when he was starting to do it 10 years or so ago.
I also think you look like David Byrne from the Talking Heads.
Well, I'll take that anytime. I mean, geez, that's a talent.
You
Keep going. Let's start here.
Well, I think
we have a breakfast thing here. Let me get the full English breakfast.
Yeah.
Saddle up.
I think you look a bit like Morrissey as well, but nobody else is having that. No, you're not having that. Okay, all right. I'll part the Morrissey. You look.
That takes me to college there, and Morrissey was a very important part of my college
experience. How big are the Smiths in America, by the way?
Oh, huge.
Huge. There are nightclubs in New York, aren't there, that just play the Smiths?
100%.
I think there's one called Smiths.
Well, everything downtown on the Lower East Side, they were dedicated to that kind of work in the 80s and 90s.
You would know all this because you're from New York.
I certainly have spent a lot of time there. Well, I was born on Long Island, which is just outside there, and then I moved around a bunch. We were in South Florida and Texas and North Carolina, and then I landed in New York City in 1991. My brother and I, we drove a U-Haul up there with our stuff, and we've been there ever since.
How great are these responses? You don't know.
Should I say less?
No.
Okay.
No. You are just like the perfect guest. I've seen you on so many chat shows in America. Anyway, I'm so excited. We'll get back to Long Island in a bit. You're here for High Noon. Look at this, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Billy Crudup, Denise Scott, High Noon. No pressure. So you have the movie, because you're playing Will, and also, therefore, you're playing Gary Cooper, because Gary Cooper was in the movie. And Denise, she plays Amy, and therefore also she's playing Grace Kelly, because Grace Kelly made it famous.
Right.
And the script for the play has been written by an Oscar-winning writer, so no pressure here, Bill. I mean, obviously you fit into that.
That's not even close to the pressure that I felt. The real pressure I felt was, how am I the marshal of this town? I'm 5'9" at best, weigh about 160 pounds. So I've got to deliver, I don't know, a great fight or some gunfighting or something or maybe I'm really good at talking to people and talking people down from situations.
You got the look. You look a bit like Clint Eastwood as well, doesn't he? Come on, you got it all going on. You just got one of those faces. Kate from Hammersmith.
I want to write these down.
Don't worry, we could write it on the desk.
All right.
Happy Friday, team. Kate from Hammersmith. I went to see High Noon last week. Such a fun show. Western on stage, brilliant idea. Staging and lighting fab. Who knew Billy could dance? Well, I knew Billy could dance because you're a song and dance man. Love to see the contrast from his Corey Ellison morning show character. I mean, they couldn't be more different, could they?
Well, you should have seen the look on my face when the director said, "How about a bit of line dancing?"
Yeah.
I was like, "There's no line dancing in the movie." why is there going to be line dancing here? And she's like, well, it's theatrical. We need to build up the...
Yeah.
So the first couple of days of trying to do that, it was uncomfortable for everybody, I think. But, I dug in.
Did you check?
And I decided that Will can't dance very well.
Yeah.
That's the way you do it. You sell it. Exactly. And he's okay with it. That's not a problem.
Clever. Did you channel your inner Yellowstone?
I haven't seen Yellowstone, so I did not.
Shut up. Of course you have. That's a lie.
I have not seen Yellowstone.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
But I have seen almost every other Western that I could dig up in the preparation for this, because I wasn't a big Western fan, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was a genre that, I don't know, it wasn't terribly interesting.
I get it. I get that completely.
But once I started watching,
I know,
and particularly with respect to. They were using it as a metaphor back then. The guys who were writing these things in the 50s and 60s, they were all going through the McCarthy era and the Red Scare, and what happens to communities when all of a sudden they turn on each other. So you need somebody to apply laws. And so the Wild West is a perfect analogy for that, because you had all these different kinds of people, Mexicans, Native Americans, Irish, wealthy landowners, trying to figure out how to manage a small town where everybody had guns.
Yeah.
And that was a funky place. So everybody was enraged all the time. And you look at all of these movies, all these Westerns, they're fascinating. The tension is so high is because people can't decide how to live by the rule of law. And that makes everybody really anxious and uncomfortable.
Yeah, because who makes the rules?
So when I tapped into that, I was like, okay, ready to go.
Plenty to hold on to. Because feudalism, because the Western was massive.
Huge.
And there's a whole science behind why Westerns were successful, why people wrote them, why they transferred and traveled really well around the world, why they were easy to translate, why they were lots made in Spain. Then they went away for a while, and then now they are just back. Yellowstone has a lot to do with it, I suppose. But on stage, a whole different ball game.
Well, yeah, it's not been done on stage in a way that I've seen before. So
yeah, you can't have the sort of 90-minute vista, can you?
Well, if you watch them too, they're replete with close-ups.
Yeah.
The tension comes in like the extreme close-up of an eye going. Well, you can't do that on stage.
No. So what do you do instead, then, Bill?
I do big, loud faces. Gesticulate madly. No, we try to find ways. Well, I mean, we've got a great director in Thea Sherrick. We've got an incredible company. Denise Goff is one of the best actors out there. So we have people who know how to create a theatrical event, which you really need. And this is Eric's first play. So some of the stuff that he wrote is very difficult to stage. I think the first draft that I read, there was an eagle that flew in to open the play.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, sure. Do you know how to corral an eagle in the theater 8 times a week?
No,
because we didn't.
So what do they do?
Nothing. The eagle is no longer in the play.
Hang on a minute. Because obviously we know
there were horses too, man.
Real horses.
Oh yeah, and like his idea of it is like, let's see if we can put a stampede on.
Wow.
So we had to find a way to manage, and it wasn't just that. He also writes cinematically. So you go from one place to another place to another place to another place. Well, the stage is not a lazy Susan. You can't just rotate it around from one to another and make it tense and exciting and theatrical. So Thea had to figure out a way to stage it with an ensemble of actors to make it feel like all of these different locations. And I think she did a marvelous job. And the line dancing was included.
Line dancing made it in the end. How are you with
some Bruce Springsteen.
How are you with the line dancing now? We've got a still of the line dancing. It will pop up in a second or two.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be something. Let's all just wait for that. I'm going to have some coffee for a second.
To be honest, Billy, it's actually
oh, crap, I didn't turn it on.
Shot.
Is it? Okay.
It's so funny because you're sort of slightly levitating.
There it is. Look, she's on rhythm. Look. Will doesn't know what he's doing, but he's thrilled to be doing it.
Yeah. Just crack the smile.
He's saying, honey, I've never danced before.
Never done this before.
And where are my guns?
All the fun. Come on, what about this high noon on stage at the Harold Pinter Theatre? Limited till March because you've got to go back to your day job, haven't you, back in the States?
Correct.
Highnoontheplay.com is where you need to go for tickets. Highnoontheplay.com. Because you're such a great yucky guest, right? What I've done here is we're going to have our first ever question auction, all right? So I'm going to announce the auction lots to the bidders.
Okay, great.
From a chat show point of view, all right?
Okay.
So the categories are, and it's up to you, just walk the full length of the counter before you make a decision. Here we go. Reenactor, right? Okay, reenactor, class clown, then actual clown, learning to run for a running movie, but not really learning to run. Paul Newman, the Tony Award winning 11-hour play. I mean, wow. Timeshare on the Moon salesman. You're thinking about all these stories now.
Oh, man.
Overcompensating, trying to be cool when working with your heroes and ending up acting like a douchebag. That's a good one. The MasterCard...
That could be anything.
The MasterCard years, yeah? Or really small mum, really tall son. What do you want to hear first? Come on.
11-hour play.
11-hour play? All right. These have all got to be brief because we've got so much to get through here.
Sure.
The Tony...
Oh, great. The 11-hour play is going to be brief. Terrific.
To talk about... Sorry.
We don't have another segment?
No.
Okay.
The Tony Award-winning 11-hour play, which is a true story.
Tom Stoppard, the most incredible writer and truly a brilliant, loving man, somebody who I absolutely adore.
Recently lost, lamented, and already missed.
Yes, correct. Well put. And it actually, when he passed away, I found myself like maybe 6 or 7 hours after I'd heard the news, like sobbing. And it was in part because I tied my sense of myself as an actor to having worked with him. And his departure from the planet left me a lot less interesting an actor. And I like that part of my story, that I got to work with him. And that play in particular was fascinating. It was a 3-part story about philosophers in Russia, which you would think, well, that might be a tough sell. Well, in New York, we did it at the Vivian Beaumont Theater at Lincoln Center, the spectacular cast. We sold out every marathon. We started at 11 a.m. We did our first play. Then there was a lunch break. Then we did our second play. They did the same thing here. It originated here. And then the third play, well, my character died in the second play, so I got to go home on my Vespa, have dinner, maybe put my son to sleep, have the babysitter there or something, and then go back for the curtain call, put my costume back on at 11. It was...
And you won the Tony Award.
Well, I'm telling you, it was the best job ever.
You won the Tony Award, come on.
Yeah. Hey, and I brought it.
Imagine if you had, that'd be so...
The monologue that this character has is the most winning monologue you can possibly imagine. And as long as you don't screw it up, somebody's going to give you something. It's just the most beautiful, eloquent piece of writing. And actually, my son, he was taking a scene study class in college this past semester, and he was doing the monologue, and he called me to tell me, and I couldn't help but take it over myself.
Oh no!
I know, awful. And that's how drawn I was to that material.
Yeah, I love it.
It was an absolutely brilliant.
All right, class clown, then actual clown, or really small mum, really tall son.
Really small.
Okay, so here we have Billy, and he's gorgeous, really small mum.
There is my mom.
All right.
My mom recently, I have to say, she broke her hip, and she is rehabilitating right now, so I'm sending all my love over there right now.
Before we move on, I mean, it was very much down to her that you're sitting here. Isn't it? Because she used to take you to the theatre every weekend.
The only reason that I am sitting here is because of her. She was the one who inspired my creative engine and allowed me to kind of, I don't know, be interested in the kind of performing that happened in the theater.
And she drove you from Long Island into the city.
She would. That was a regular experience for us. And then when we left Long Island, we were living in Texas and Florida. Yearly, we would fly to New York, make sure we saw what was ever on. And that could have been Starlight Express, or it could have been Fences with James Earl Jones, or Brighton Beach Memoirs with Fisher Stevens. I mean, I got to see some incredible things, and the galvanizing experience of being with other people in the room, to breathe the air, to hear the voices, to hear James Earl Jones's voice.
I was going to say.
Your body reverberates from the power of his voice. It's an incredible experience. So to me, that's... I don't know.
Really small mum, but a pocket rocket packs a punch. What a wonderful human being.
That's Georgianne Crudup right
there.
George,
that's it. So really small mum, right? Really tall son. Okay.
You know, that picture, there's a lot of talk of AI these days. And I'm told that if you're uncomfortable with something, you just say it's AI. But no, that's my son, Will, who is that tall.
And maybe even taller now, a bit.
Probably, maybe. But also I'm shrinking.
Yeah.
You know, you get past a certain point, it starts to...
Well, we'll get there in a second.
Bone density.
Okay, because this story continues. And this, you're saying his height comes from your wife's...
Most definitely, yes.
Or his mum. Louise mums.
Mary Louise, her family is all tall.
All tall.
And
they're known as the all talls.
The Crudups did not get height in their genes.
All right, so guess what?
We got rage.
Okay, guess what?
Yeah.
I'm looking at all this stuff yesterday, and I'm thinking that's just happened to me. So my eldest son has just overtaken me. So we took this photograph I'm tall. This is a last night photo. This is fresh. Look at that. So Noah,
my brother.
I know. I know. And he's 16.
How old is he?
16.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so he's now overtaken me. It's going to happen again, clearly, because we have 100 other children as well. Can you give me any? How does parenting change when they get taller?
I'll tell you exactly. It goes like this. Hey man, that's a timeout. You need to think about that. I'm going to think about something. Okay, I'm going to take a walk.
So I've got that all to come.
That's it. That's
man.
it. And but by the way, the walk is a great one because they don't really know what's happening.
Okay.
And you've left them alone without the ability to push back.
And they haven't got a brain.
They don't know what. No, they're 16.
They're 16, man.
They can't even rent a car.
It's ridiculous.
No,
so
nothing is
stupid.
formed. The prefrontal cortex is years away.
I know. And maybe never comes back. What about this? Overcompensating, trying to be cool when working with your heroes, or the Mastercard years?
Mastercard.
The Mastercard years.
Thank you. There are some things money can buy.
That's you, isn't it?
That was me, yeah. Actually, there was a Mastercard spot on just before I came on. I was like, it's my job.
Darn those new people.
They had a different person do it in
and that's
UK.
their mistake.
A terrible mistake. I mean, you give me a list of anything, I'll do it for you right now.
Okay, could you do it for the show?
Sure.
Chris Evans' Breakfast Show, Rock and Roll Tower.
Half a dozen apples, £3. It's probably too expensive for that. £2.60. Replica of an old phone, £14. Very loud hat, £24.
Not an Aviator Nation, £24,000. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
Being on the Chris Evans Breakfast Show, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's Mastercard.
That's the greatest drop-in we've ever had. And just so you know, from now on, we're playing nothing else. All right, tell us about some of the other stuff. Overcompensating, trying to be cool when working with your heroes. So,
I mean, that just sounds like every day. I don't know.
So you pitch up, and Dustin Hoffman is there. Or Robert De Niro is there. And you've worked with all these guys. Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Well, I look back actually at Without Limits with a little bit of regret because the part, I really loved the part, and that guy was a very interesting person who was doing a lot of things, not just athletically, but politically, things that have come to fruition now where college students have some stake in the money that people are making, the colleges are making. And he was at the forefront of that. And I really wanted to do well. It was my first time having a lead role, and that was actually Tom Cruise's role, but it took him a while to get the movie made. So by the time that they were making it, he felt he had aged out of it. So he became a producer of it. Well, it turns out the producer of Without Limits is also the producer of High Noon. Paula Wagner is her name. And while I was working on Without Limits, I was so serious. I wanted to do such a good job that I kind of took for granted the people that I was working with, like Connie Hall. He was our DP, and he did Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I mean, he is just a legendary. And he was trying out this new technology, which would become regular now, where they use a laser to figure out how far away the person is. But it was brand new. And he liked to shoot at magic hour, so there's very low light. So he had a very narrow depth of field. And they wanted me running at camera from a long distance away. And so I'd be doing these takes running over the hill, and I'm getting a little bit gassed after a while, you know, even though I was in my prime at 20-something or whatever.
Sure.
You get tired after. And also, middle distance runners, they look like they're kind of jogging. They're all running 4-minute miles. That's a sprint for everybody else. So I'm like huffing it at the camera, and the technology isn't working. And so at a certain point, Connie's like, you know, we need to do another. And I'm like, we're not doing another. And then I get home and I'm like, why are you yelling at Conrad Hall? Yeah. And so that I look back at some of that, trying to be trying to live up to the expectations of the opportunities that people were giving me it was hard.
Yeah, general hindsight, never won a war. That's for sure.
That's the truth.
And when you were young and foolish, you were young and foolish.
That's what happens.
Because that's the deal. That's our job, isn't it? Then
it is. Yeah, that's right.
You talked about Tom Cruise, and then you also there's a story about your dad. Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Because your dad and mum couldn't be more different, could they?
No question about it.
Right.
My mom is incredibly reliable, supportive, and my dad was supportive once he could see that I started making money. But
that kind of supportive.
Yeah. And I remember he was always angling for something and wanted to get involved in some business or another. And having grown up with him, seeing all the businesses fail that he was trying to prop up, and see him make his money in ways that were not sort of on the up and up. He wouldn't declare his taxes, say, for bookmaking, because that was illegal in the States at the time. So I wasn't going to get into business with him. And I also knew that if he got in any proximity to the people in power that I was working with, that he was going to try to draw them in. And so he wasn't often invited to openings, let's say, for instance. So when the Without Limits one came up, we were premiering at Toronto Film Festival. He said, so when's this big premiere? And I said, well, we're not actually having a premiere. It's going to be at the Toronto Film Festival, the opening. Oh, Toronto. Well, there's a good chance I may be in Canada. Got a couple of things I may be working on up there. I was like, oh, man, you've never been to Canada, man. What are you talking about? So I was like, well, Dad, if you're there, come to the show. He shows up in Canada. I discovered later that he was just buying a whole bunch of Cuban cigars that he could come back and sell in America, smuggle them back in. But he's cornered Tom Cruise after the premiere and is giving him a dissertation on parenting. And I was like, all right, this has got to end now. Dad, come over here.
And did he try and hold Tom into some kind of business venture?
Tom was wrapped. I mean, he could have sold Tom on anything at that moment. When you get Tom Cruise's attention, it's like you've never had attention before.
Really?
I mean, that man, actually, my dad passed away while we were shooting Mission Impossible 3, and I had to come into set the day after we had the memorial for him, and I was debating in the makeup trailer when Tom came bounding in and said, hey, how is everybody? He's very, protective of the cast and the crew. How is everybody? And I was thinking, oh, do I tell him? My dad had been sick for a while. And I said, do I tell him? And I just decided, I said, well, actually it was, a tough weekend. My dad passed away. Well, you haven't been consoled until you've been consoled by Tom Cruise. He locked right in. To the point where I was like, it's all fine. It's all fine. Death come, people come and go. What are you going to do? We should get on with the scene, right? But he was like that with my dad at the premiere of Without Limits.
But no Cruise money changed hands to...
I'm not legally allowed to
say. All right. But your dad was a salesman, which is acting anyway, isn't it? And for this, for your great show, Hello Tomorrow.
Yeah, that was him.
You played a salesman selling timeshares on the moon.
Have you seen?
No, I haven't, and I heard about it. I'm so desperate to see it.
No, have you seen what's happened in the news recently?
No.
There's a company that is going to try to put a hotel on the moon.
And you can buy shares in this company.
Correct.
Well, you should sue them.
I had multiple people text me this, and I was like, what in there? Oh, you should definitely buy.
Yeah.
Get in now.
Yeah.
Get in now while you can. Well, that was my character. And it was more a Willy Loman story, which is if you tell people that the land of opportunity is meant to enrich you at some point in some way, which it doesn't. What it does is afford opportunity, and the few people get to exploit it. Mostly, it's about hope. And so it can have the effect of making people feel terrible about their own lives just for working hard.
Yeah.
So my dad he wanted to win the lottery. And that's the guy, Jack Billings in Hello Tomorrow. He was... They called it Jackpotitis, the writers, Amit and Lucas, fabulous writers. But he wanted to sell hope to people. That was it. And he really did adore people. And he did have this idea that somehow, if he could get enough people involved, he really could make their dreams come true.
So there was some truth there.
There was the belief. And my dad was such a charming, beautiful, loving man. There wasn't like a I mean, even though he carried a gun, there wasn't like a bit. I know. Even though he had a sawed-off shotgun next to his bed,
Well,
it wasn't.
You had to carry the gun to go and collect the debts on the
Yeah,
way to sports on Saturday.
it's work. But even that, it didn't feel threatening. You know, he wasn't that kind of person. And Jack Billings was like that too. A total charmer, as he was, you know, from any other perspective, bilking people out of their retirement.
Well, you got the best of both your mum and dad. We're out of time, but Billy Crudup, you did not disappoint, my friend.
Hey, all right, good.
Billy Crudup, please, if you don't mind. Okay, High Noon is playing now. It's a limited season, so you've got to get there before. We haven't even talked about the morning show. Gee, you've got to go back to season 5 of that, haven't you?
Well, I am. Yep, in March.
Can you believe this is a show? You've just been on a chat show and we haven't mentioned the morning show.
I can't actually. That's hard to believe.
Gosh, that's how bad I am on my job.
I'm sure Jay Kelly is still out there in the theaters too.
Yeah, I've got Jay Kelly. It's on. I saw it at home. It's on Netflix, I think.
Okay, great.
Or somewhere. Anyway,
yeah, Netflix for sure.
Yeah, highnoontheplay.com is still booking. You can still get in there maybe if you're lucky and you're quick with that call to action. Billy, you are great.
Thanks, man.
You are great.
I appreciate you. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks so much. One more time. Billy Crudup!